Now in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at probably one of the biggest cases that we've ever actually had on the channel. So big, in fact, I can barely fit it on the camera, but trust me, it's crazy how good this case is. So we're going to give it a go anyway. So this huge monstrosity of a case is the BeQuiet Dark Base 701, and when BeQuiet actually reached out to us to ask if we take a look, I was like, sure, let's take a look at it. Until it actually arrived, I didn't realize how big this thing is. It is so big that it's actually on the borderline of being impressive. I would actually consider this case as quite expensive. You will pay around £230 for it, but like many premium style cases, I think that they can actually turn into investments, particularly when they're this good, and this thing is absolutely amazing. It's so good, in fact, I've actually started to question the one that I've got in my main rig at home, because I might actually give it a bit of an upgrade with something like this, particularly with the ability to be able to match the power supply and cooling solutions, because BeQuiet are fantastically known for all of those too. Along with a pretty high price range, there is a lot of features in this, probably more features than in any case that I've ever taken a look at, but from a standard perspective, on the front we do have a full mesh panel, and it does have RGB strips built into it. They actually lock on to the front with a little panel, so it's a touch kind of thing where it will send the power to them through. There is no actually wires stuck on the front of this case, so you can remove it quite easily. Behind that there is a magnetic dust filter, so you're going to stop dust going through the front, and then you have a removable bay where you can fit up to 3 140mm fans or a 360mm radiator. That panel, like I say, will actually remove, so you can install everything on really easily and then put it back in. On the back we have a pretty standard layout here, but we've got some additional features. For the power supply, it is a removable plate, so you can mount your power supply before you put it in, and then you can actually install it in. We have 7 PCI expansion card slots, and then we also have 3 in a vertical mount position. That means that this case can take up to some pretty beefy graphics cards in vertical mount mode. And then above that we have enough space for an up to 140mm fan. The rear panel on this case is absolutely huge and can be removed via its 2 captive thumb screws, and then on the back of that it does have a soundproofing padding which really does keep the noise down. And then we have more than enough space for plenty of cable management, including a built-in and provided fan speed and RGB hub. It's actually really nice to see features like that when they actually include that kind of stuff in there, because they've actually wired it all in, so all the pre-existing fans in here will actually work perfectly fine. You don't need anything additional, and you can get away with less headers, so that's actually pretty cool. On the bottom we do have a full length dust filter, but you do need to remove the front to be able to slide that out. It does slide out from the front, so that's actually pretty good because it means you don't have to flip the case up, and this case is not light at all. It's quite a heavy case. And then for the top, if we just remove this off here, you can see that we have a full mesh panel on the top that is removable. There are 2 captive screws again at the back of this to be able to take them off, so it's a pretty simple installation there. On the top it also includes a removable bay. You can just basically take 2 screws out from the sides and then you can slide this out. That means then you can actually mount all your fans and your radiators to it and slide it back in, so it makes for a much easier installation process. There is plenty of I/O on this case, including a microphone jack, a headphone jack, a USB-C, 2 USB 3s. Then of course you have your power button. You also have a fan speed button to control that built-in controller, as well as one for controlling the RGB too. And when it comes to expanding your storage in this, you can actually mount plenty of SSDs in the back of this top panel here, as well as 2 3.5-inch hard drives for anybody that seems to use them still. Now the case itself is of an impressive size, and just inside of here we can obviously fit up to a ATX board, so you can fit a micro ATX or an ITX if you're going to. To be honest, the case is so big, even a full ATX board against this does look a little bit like a micro ATX board, so you're going to have plenty of space to be able to get pretty much everything you want into it. Now you would think a case like this, the most impressive thing would actually be that size. We do have a motherboard installed in here. It is a normal ATX board with a pretty decent sized graphics card, the RX 6700 XT, but the one from Asus ROG Strix, so it's actually a pretty large card, and everything looks absolutely tiny. And then there is plenty of space for cooling in here, including up to 3 140mm fans in the front, 3 140mm fans in the top, and 1 in the back. You can also fit up to a 360mm radiator in the front, as well as the top on the little sliding bay. So it's actually really well kitted up for things like water cooling too. But to be honest, the size of it is not the most impressive thing at all, because this case can actually transform. All you have to do is remove the front panel, remove the back panel, remove the top, unscrew and slide out the top bracket, squeeze and pop the bottom plate out, remove 5 screws from the back, slide the complete motherboard tray out, turn it over, flip it around and slide it back into the other side. And then you can have your PC on the left. Albeit your components are upside down, but I think it gives it a nice new fresh look. I think this kind of feature is absolutely amazing, and of course this is where it starts to justify the excessive price that these cases are. It is a fantastic quality case. You've got every single feature that you would ever need. It fits as much cooling as you could ever possibly want. And you can actually convert it to be a backwards or left-hand side PC, which I know a lot of people out there would like because it's just the way that their desks are set up. I am super impressed with the BeQuiet Dark Base 701 case. It is the first BeQuiet product that we've actually really had on the channel, apart from an air cooler once upon a time. And I think I'm going to be getting plenty more of them because I think it would just be great to show you guys some more. I want to thank BeQuiet for sending this case along. It's really nice to have a big brand like BeQuiet actually support smaller channels like ours. And I think they've definitely got themselves a new customer here. They have sent us some other products along, which you will see in upcoming videos, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to catch them. And I'm sure, as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one.